All right, so let us review the machine stuff. Smoke prevents the CV from going after you. Smoke prevents DDs with smoke from concealment trapping you. And smoke allows you to lock down an area without having to give up ground, thus you don't lose map control. Okay, so I already addressed this one. Smoke prevents the CV from going after you. Yes, it can. Absolutely. It makes you weaker to CVs. However, I have a lot of battles in CVs. So when I play, I often position where I'm expecting if a CV comes after me, I have a way out, or I have a way to deal with it, or I can just dodge the CV. I might, of course, get way too YOLO. I might get aggressive in my positioning, be caught with my pants down, and suddenly I've got 3 different ships shooting at me and a CV. Then that gets really unpleasant. And yes, smoke would absolutely help there. And if I had smoke, I could absolutely play more aggressively. Very correct. But I had to change my playstyle when chat wanted me to go heal, so we went heal. I will tell you what my builds were before that, if we want to talk about that, because if you're knowledgeable about Russian CVs, I've literally played them like 60 battles. So if you have, hundreds, obviously you're going to know more than I do. Smoke prevents DDs with smoke from concealment trapping you. I'm not exactly sure what you mean by concealment trapping, but what I can say is there were often times when I had the heal or whatever, which is one of the reasons why I'm divved with Raz, because I wouldn't have a way forward because of my shitty concealment. So if we had an enemy battleship, whatever, there's 3 battleships back there, and there's a DD up here. If I start to push in to get my little 15 kilometer range on here, but there's like a 7 kilometer difference here, well, 15 means this one's 8. And I found that I just could not brawl destroyers at all. Now with a heal, I can take some damage and I can regen some of it, but I can't brawl a DD. I'm not built for it. Like, it just doesn't function that way. And to put myself up close enough to be able to interact with these is to put myself close enough that I get accurately shelled down by a forward position destroyer that probably has smoke that I can't deal with, which sucks. Which means I can't do anything. I could, try to light myself and maybe dance around battleship shells, but I can't present a threat and be like, hey, look at me, rawr. So I don't have any function, which sucks. Now, if I was able to pull forward to get in a position where I could shell this, drop the smoke, and I at least played relatively conscious as to, is the DD going to rush me? Is the DD going to force a play? Am I going to get torped? Then yes, I have access to the targets in the back without theoretically being, sniped by a destroyer. So smoke would be very helpful in that position, and was helpful in the tier 5, 6, and 7 destroyers. So yes, that would give me that. Also, because I cannot take a fight with a DD, if I move forward to deal with battleships and, surprise, motherfucker, the DD shows up and it turns out this is like an Akazuki or something. This is a DD I do not want to brawl. When I'm trying to get the hell out, I can drop a smoke behind me, break line of sight, and then go dark and be able to get out. Okay, now I know this DD is here. I need to just back up, and frankly, I cannot contest this. I have to go find somewhere else to go. So the smoke is going to save me more health than the heal is, because the Akazuki in that instance could pump so much damage into me that it's like, it would be every heal I have just to get the hell out, and that's if I get out. So yes, smoke absolutely useful in that as well. Smoke allows you to lock down an area without having to give up ground. Sure. Yes, so if we had the smoke screen here, then again, I could be interacting. I could be kind of blocking this. The only question is if the DD YOLOs me, which actually happened in 2 matches while I was grinding. There was a Fontask where I was forward enough that he could move forward under concealment and just chuck torps in and kill me from literally like 3 kilometers away. So that worked out really well in his favor. And there was another point where I was... Where? I think we were on 2 brothers, was what it was. So there's 2 brothers, there's whatever, there's the thing, there's the other thing. And there were some islands and stuff out here. So the bad guys had sent a cruiser and a DD up on this flank. And we had a cruiser over here that had outplayed their cruiser. So, cool. Yay, good. So the cruiser goes down, but there's a DD that's kind of locked in this area, and I'm over here. I've been ticking off battleships and stuff, whatever. I pop smoke, and I'm trying to lock down this DD and get kills. Meanwhile, enemy Benson moves over, smokes like 4 kilometers away. And because when starts throwing shells in. Okay, what the hell? I figured maybe I was getting blind fired, but I start to move out, and I now have a very accurate Benson 3 to 4 kilometers away shoving shells into me while I'm lit for 20 seconds because of this, and frankly just terrible detection. That was a really bad day. That was like 12,000 health just getting away. It sucked. There were 2 times where smoke left me overcommitted, which was a problem. And not to say that that was the smoke's fault, it was my fault. But yeah. So just to go further, what am I doing when using heal? I'm going to explain this. I'll show you the commander build and we can have a talk about it. I have not been able to find how to make the Russian destroyer just win games. I haven't been able to do it. I get really frustrated because there's a DD that needs to be handled or a position that needs to be taken, and I just ain't got it, which is one of the reasons why we're divvying with Razrusha, who's playing in the ZF6, fucking just laying it down, taking forward positions, while I pull fire off of that flank. Hey, look at me! And we'll pull all this fire onto us, so that he can kind of do what he needs to do, take a cap, outplay a DD, whatever, and he's capable of doing that while I'm being the little annoying asshole. And basically Lord Zath, because I gave him a replay where he was showing... Oh, by the way, thank you very much for the raid, Time Warp. Hello. Hi, everybody. Rar. Sorry, I was monologuing. He was basically saying that the goal of your Russian DD is to be the little annoying gnat asshole that everybody just wants to, like, you know, goddamn fucking gnat, just stop, you know, or whatever, the mosquito. Just be that little annoying mosquito that's juking shells, eating this, doing that, doing whatever. And I think it was this game that we were able to pull. Well, this is... nope, it's not that one. Was it the first one? It was the first one, because Raz wasn't playing here. That we were able to pull 3.1 million potential damage, which is really obscenely high for me. And I mean, we milked all the heals and all the everything. It was a crazy time. Right, so in this case... the tier 8 has a pretty decent engine to it. It's just the guns kind of suck. They're really, or they feel floaty, or they feel floatier than they want, or than I would like them to be. Now we have a firing range of approximately 15. So if we've got our firing range of 15, say, then we're trying to engage stuff at 12 to 14 so that our shells will actually interact, because at that distance we can still juke. However, I've learned in the tier 9, while the guns are better, the juking is worse. The engine is less powerful. So I get chipped. I get chipped frequently. I get chipped by multiple people shooting me. I get chipped by a stray shell that doesn't, you know, just kind of like bleeds off to the side. Okay, there's another 800, another 1,000, another 800, another 1,000. And the heal on the Tashkent has worked out really well for me. I don't think the heal is necessary on the tier 8, the Kiev, because I think the Kiev has enough wiggle room that, frankly, outside of a CV that's going to be just right on top of you, I think you can manage your health all the way throughout the match, assuming you don't have to get in and try to brawl a DD or something stupid. But at least that's my experiences. So with all that being said, sure, you know what you're doing. Yeehaw. And you don't need Superintendent for smoke, but you do need it for heal. Yes, so let me show you the commander things that I was using. Let's say you're open water gunboating. What are you going to do if a daring smokes up 6 kilometers away and you don't have smoke? You run. That's what you do, which sucks. This is my Khaba build. Unfortunately, there's no links, so you would need to message it to me. Or you could at me or something on Discord, I guess. Daring is an interesting example because it bully you out of smoke. Sure. But yes, I did run into situations where, you know, there was a battleship, there was the tasty snacks, and there were 14 kilometers away, but 6 to 7 kilometers in front of them were DDs, and I was not going to be able to trade with them. So even if they open watered against me, they didn't even have to smoke, I would still lose the trade and have to leave. Now, if they smoked even more so, all I can do is run. So yes, absolutely, that is completely a thing. The question is, if I smoke, do they charge me and force the fight? Because they could do that. They could charge me and force the fight. They don't have to wait. The Daring does have a Hydro in that instance and whatever, so... And theoretically, better guns. Yeah. Is that Kiv with smoke and steering? Let me just show you what I had. So, let me pop back to this. As requested, there's a clip thing from Skyraider, which we'll have to look at. This is from Machine. Oh, this. Whoa. That's, well, whatever. Hard to see. Upgrades. This is the Khaba. Yeah, I don't have the Khaba yet. I don't think I bought this, but I would need this if I wanted it. Sure. I do wonder what the Khaba's engine is like. Propulsion? How fast is it? Does it say? Well, I guess we could check it out in game. Sure, this is similar to what I have. All right, so let me just let me show you what I've got. Have I ground Daring? Yes, I have the Daring already. I've unlocked the Daring. By the way, Time Warp. Hello. Sorry, Rar, are you still here? I hope you're still here. Yes, you are. Great. What I would like you to do, sir. I do not know you. I don't know your, what you do, how you play, who you are, when you stream, what you stream. But feel free to introduce yourself to chat. Feel free to say hello. Hello, here just listening? Cool. Well, you don't have to just listen. If you want to just talk, you know, mention who you are, what you do, when you play, why you play, and introduce yourself to chat, by all means. If you want to send us a raid, if you want to send us a little love, you're more than welcome to introduce yourself to the community. Yeah, who dis? But I'm going to continue talking about the Khaba stuff for a moment. All right, so if we look at the commander, I actually had two. The other commander was this one. No, I just want to look at this one. Just want to look. Thank you. This is what I was running when I ran Smoke. I deliberately didn't have Survivability Expert, which I know is sacrilegious. Oh, it's terrible. You just can't do that. It's not okay. I get it. But realistically, in the tier 5, 6, and 7, I was almost always in control of my health. I just couldn't take a fight. And whether I had Survivability Expert or not, I still couldn't take a fight. So it didn't matter. So rather than put points into a place that's not going to win me the match, granted, moving the points into, you know, a little additional damage isn't going to win me the match either, but I didn't die very much. And usually I would take about half a ship's worth of damage and that's it. So I found this was just not important. At the tier 5, 6, 7s, and I did run this as the tier 8 when I was doing the Kiev with Smoke. So this is, I absolutely take Last Stand, absolutely. Did go with priority maintenance or preventative maintenance. I find incoming shell alert is extremely important. Have all the same stuff that you do. It's just, I think I took 3 points out of here and I stuck it into improved fire chance, and I had one additional point that I didn't give a shit about, so I threw it into turret traverse. But everything else is basically max damage. This was for the Smoke build. However, with Kuznetsov, do I get to look at this? There we go. When we took the heal, I decided that Superintendent was going to be for the additional heal. Sure, cool. So that's an additional like 2.2? 2.2 thousand health, 3.2 thousand health, whatever the hell it ends up being for the ship it ends up being. And I'm going to combine that with Survivability Expert. Why? Because it's going to give me additional health. And at this point, if I'm taking the health, I'm taking the health as a brawl condition. I'm taking the health as a pulling fire, taking damage, involving myself condition. I am using my health to give us some kind of lead. And while I could, for instance, move Survivability Expert into main guns for 5% additional attack, whatever, this buffs that, buffs all 4 of them, plus gives me more health on the side. And I had initially done this under the assumption that I was going to be brawling enemy DDs, only to learn that I still couldn't. It didn't matter how much health I had. I could never brawl a DD. The guns weren't accurate enough. It's just, they don't fire fast enough. It just sucked. So this is kind of a legacy. I could actually move Survivability Expert into main battery. I could do that. But I do find that I try to milk the health that I have pretty aggressively, including even the Kuznetsov heal, which is this. Yeah. Which is something, what, 7.5%? This is not very much. And the other thing is, so in the earlier versions of the stuff, I was using, this is post-change. So initially, I was using Engine Boost mod to make the engine boost go. I didn't have Superintendent, so I only had 3, so that gives me basically a fourth charge. Plus 30% times 3 is plus 90%, it's almost a third charge, or a fourth charge. And plus, I mean, I want the dancing shoes to last. And then over here, I actually took steering gear on the Minsk, because I found when I was going up without steering gears, I had like that 4-second turning, and it just, or 3.8, 4 seconds, it sucked. It just wasn't enough. Then when I got up to the Kiv, I did the same. I had steering gear, I had engine boost, and then I had concealment. And I found that once I changed to heal, I started having issues where if I started trading shells with a DD, because I was learning whether I could do it or not, the engine being knocked out for 60 seconds sucked. Not having propulsion mod sucked. Because I couldn't limp away from a fight. I couldn't do anything once I'd been crippled like that. So I decided to double down on this and just say, you know what? Honestly, if I'm getting so close to a DD that I'm being surprised at 8 kilometers, fuck it. I'm gonna drop concealment. I'll be lit from further away, so I'll know, whoop, there's a DD here. I need to back the hell up. So I dropped concealment. I took steering gears, which increases the repair, or betters the repair time a lot, takes it to like 12 seconds or something. I think it does, 12, is that right? 12, yeah. And then we took prop mod so that even if our engine is disabled, we're accelerating at the same speed as if our engine was not disabled. So it's at least giving us the ability to like, oh shit, and recover somehow. And then with these two working together, I found that that actually works pretty well for me. And I actually doubled down on this, which is probably a little dumb, to go with engine room protection to pull the rudder down to, I think it's 10 seconds? Basically 10 seconds, and also to help with the engine, which drops it to 80 or 48 seconds. Which is probably a little silly, to be fair. But with consumable mod with the heal, I have 4 engine boosts, so it tends to be enough that I can milk it throughout the entire thing. So that's basically, that is kind of my journey from tier 5, 6, 7, 8, swap to the heal, that's the 8 and 9. That's been my Russian DD experience. And then I guess I could pick up the Khaba so we could get a super container. Maybe we'll do that.